great and honorable, the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Of Nigeria. Remain standing, we'll take the opening prayer, second stanza of the old national anthem. Together we pray. O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice reign. Amen. Very kindly be seated. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and profound respect that we gather here today for this second memorial lecture, 14 in the series organized by the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abuja branch, in tribute to one of our most esteemed colleagues, mentor, father, grandfather, and friend, Engineer Charles Mbanefo, FNSE, Nwamulunama, Onitsha. As you all know, Engineer Mbanefo was not only the pioneer chairman of the Abuja branch, but also served as the 21st president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers from 1998 to 1999, leaving an indelible mark on our professional community. Our theme for today's lecture, The Engineer in the Nigerian Society, is a testament to Engineer Mbanefo's vision and dedication to the role of engineers in shaping our nation. He believed deeply in the power of engineering to drive societal progress and was tirelessly advocate for the advancement of engineering practice in Nigeria. His legacy is one of excellence, leadership, and a relentless pursuit of innovation. As we delve into today's discussion, let us remember his contributions and draw inspiration from his life, his work to continue advancing the engineering profession and its impact on our society. We are privileged to have distinguished speakers and participants amongst us here today to be discussing this very important discussion as we explore together and further integrate the principles he championed into our professional endeavors and societal contribution. I thank you all for joining us at this significant event. Let us proceed with the spirit of learning, reflection, and commitment to the values Engineer Charles Mbanefo exemplified through his illustrious career. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to believe that here as we are seated, you know, we have our very distinguished guests, dignitaries, and speakers here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the 34th president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and the first female president of the society after 65 years. Please put your hands together as we welcome to this event Engineer Margaret Aino Oguntala, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, the Irelu Global. Please a round of applause for her. Madam, you're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, also here present is the Shigari of Lafia, our amiable Deputy President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Alimasi Arabiu, FNSC, MFR. You're very, very much welcome, sir. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, here also we have the guest speaker of this very wonderful, distinguished lecture, who will be talking to us about the Nigerian engineer and the society. She is a founder and president, Human Capital Africa, and School Politics, Policy and Governance, former vice president of World Bank Africa region. Put your hands together as we welcome Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, CFR. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, here also present at this event is, I respect him very much. And the reason why I do that is because of his role, the role he played in mentorship, especially mentoring young engineers, and of which I am one of them, the chairman of NSC Abuja branch, Engineer Ben Osi Oko, FNSC. A round of applause for him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to recognize and welcome here today the family of the man whom we have all gathered here to honor in his memory. The family is led here by his amiable wife, Mrs. Irene Mbanefo. Please put your hands together for her. And we please ask all the family to be upstanding. Please, a round of applause for them. You are very, very much welcome. You are welcome. We appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Also here in our midst is Engineer Major General ECN Obi, retired. Please, a round of applause for him. We recognize also here in our midst the past chairman of Abuja branch here present. If you're a past chairman of Abuja branch, please, can we? Engineer Emeka Ezioku, FNSA, please a round of applause for him. You are welcome. I can also see here the chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Giri branch, Engineer Okpanachi. Please, a round of applause for him. You are very, very welcome, Engineer Okpanachi. Also, I can see the national chairman of the Nigerian Institution of Highway Engineers, Engineer Hassan Saidu, FNSC. A round of applause for him. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, every one of you here is respected and welcome. Please, can we have all people from Onitsha? Onitsha, please, if you're here, can you be stand up as we recognize you, the Onitsha community? Please, if you're Anambra State, if you are here, we welcome you. We appreciate you for coming. All members of NSC Abuja branch, ladies and gentlemen, please, we'll do those recognitions as they come. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my brother. So we want to thank every single person that has accepted the invitation to be here. During the course of the event, we had to roll out the names of the dignitaries. That takes nothing away from the importance we place on everyone that is here. If you are here and you are delighted to be here to honor our father this morning, please give yourselves a round of applause. My name is Faith Oche, and together with my brother,
Engineer Emmanuel Ejika, MNSC.
And together, we hope to do a great job of chaperoning you through the event this morning. Thank you. Without further ado, we'll be moving straight on to the program of today's event as we start the program officially. To welcome us very specially to this auspicious gathering, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming a very distinguished engineer, an engineer per excellence, a paragon of commitment and dedication, the chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abuja branch, Engineer Ben Osioko, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and fellow American Society of Civil Engineers. I think we can do better with our applause, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, my colleagues, Faith Oche and Engineer Ejika. Can we please put our hands together for them, please? I think I will stand on the already established protocols, but permit me to acknowledge the presence of the chairman of this august occasion, and president of the great and honorable the Nigerian Society of Engineers, delectable Engineer Margaret Aino Oguntala, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers. And let me also, in a very special way, acknowledge the Deputy President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, immediate past President of Koren, Engineer Ale Masuya Rabiu, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow of the American Society of Civil Engineers, and member order of the Federal Republic. And let me also, in a very special way, this is the second time I'm bringing her here, our guest lecturer for today's event, my respected, my adorable Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, CFR. Please, can we clap for her, please? In Igbo language, there's an adage that onye furu ugo jaya mma, nina de afu ugo kwada. That is, when you see an ego, you should praise an ego because you don't see an ego all the time. I think she deserves more than what we have given. And on a special note, I want to welcome our mommy, Mrs. Irene Chinwe Mbanefo Aneche, the wife of our honoree, who has always been with us from the very beginning of this lecture in 2011 till this day. She has never missed any of them. We want to say a very big thank you to you and for your support to the branch and to the society. You are welcome. And all our guests who are here, the past chairman of the branch, I must do that because I keep saying it, he was the chairman I served first under. So anywhere I see him, I must acknowledge that. And as far as I'm concerned, he was the best chairman I served under in Abuja branch. Engineer Mekapolinus Ozioko, FNSC, you are welcome. Friends of the Mbanefo family who are here with us, and let me acknowledge past president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Spouses Forum, Dickiness Abosede Mokwolu. You're welcome, ma'am. That's the wife of our 31st president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. I have been instructed directed by the president to ask you to come to the front seat, please. The students from various schools that are here present, our special guests, our invited guests, please let me stop here. All other protocols duly, respectfully, and honorably observed. Welcome address by Engineer Ben Osioko, FNSC, the chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abuja branch, on the occasion of the second Engineer Charles Mbanefo Memorial Lecture. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm deeply honored to stand before you this morning on this auspicious occasion of the second Engineer Charles Mbanefo Memorial Lecture. I welcome you to this event, which marks a continuation of the celebration of a life well lived and the enduring legacy of a remarkable individual. In 1984, exactly 40 years ago, a group of young engineers from various parts of this great country and beyond came together to form what is known today as the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abuja branch, the Primus Inter Pares. This group was led by the visionary Engineer Charles Mbanefo, who became the first chairman of the branch. Since then, the branch has remained a formidable force in the committee of NSE branches. The contributions of our members to our nation's building, particularly in the development of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, are prodigious and unprecedented. Our members have displayed distinctive finesse in various facets of life. They have borne responsibilities. That is our trademark and heritage. The branch is simply a citadel of excellence and distinction. The Nigerian Society of Engineers Abuja branch has also given birth to 3 other branches, Maitama branch, Giri branch, and Buare branch. Yet our strength and might remain undiminished. The branch has won many laurels in the national arena, including group dynamics competition, the welfare competition, the national engineering games, football competition, which we have won 5 consecutive times, among many others. It is on record that our branch has produced 4 presidents of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, 2 presidents of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Koren, a state governor, a head of Civil Service of the Federation, 3 presidents of the Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria, APWEN, ministers, National and State Assembly members, military generals, permanent secretaries, executive secretaries, directors, generals, mandate secretaries, managing directors, and several other top management officials in various ministries and government agencies. These achievements underscore why our branch stands tall above its contemporaries in every ramification. Beyond these achievements, our branch remains committed to promoting the advancement of engineering education, research, and practice in all its dimensions. We play a pivotal role in organizing quality programs aimed at developing the human capacity of our members, sensitizing and enlightening the public, and providing quality advice to policymakers and stakeholders alike. It is upon this backdrop that the branch, under the leadership of Engineer Omar Gamboji Brain, FNSC OON, organized the first Abuja Engineers Distinguished Lecture, held on Thursday, 7 July 2005, at the Shehu Musa Yar'Adua Center. The lecture brought together a unique blend of professionals from different disciplines of the engineering profession and other sectors of our economy, heads of various arms of government and other government agencies, policymakers, traditional rulers, and the best of the academia and industry to x-ray issues of national importance for the advancement of research, fostering of intellectual exchange between researchers, educators, and policymakers, industry professionals, and experts to fashion a new roadmap for policymakers with a particular focus on opportunities and constraints in developing our country, Nigeria, and our continent, Africa. In 2011, under the leadership of Engineer Joseph Olatunde Akinteye, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the Abuja Engineers Distinguished Lecture was renamed Engineer Charles Mbanefo Distinguished Lecture in honor of our founding chairman and 21st president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Charles Mbanefo Nwamulunama. The inaugural edition of the lecture was held on Thursday, the 16th day of June 2011, at the Conference Center of National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDA, Abuja. Since then, the lecture has become a major annual event featuring seasoned professionals from around the world as guest lecturers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on Thursday, the 27th day of October 2022, precisely 100 days after the 12th edition of the lecture, we received the shocking news of the passing of our beloved father, Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo Nwamulunama. It was a day death snatched from us a loving father, a colossus, a rare gem, a unique gift to humanity, a man of honor, a beacon of unity and justice, and an amalgam of intellectuality. It was a day the engineering profession lost one of the brightest stars in its firmament. It was a day the profession lost a man that defended its dignity, ensured its integrity, and preserved its prestige. It was a day we lost a man who was a frontline carrier of the engineering banner, whose philosophy was anchored on the imperatives of de-emphasizing the things that divide us and emphasizing the things that unite us. He was a true apostle of this philosophy, and that formed the basis of his teaching and actions. Following the demise of our father, Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo, the annual Engineer Charles Mbanefo Distinguished Lecture was renamed the Engineer Charles Mbanefo Memorial Lecture. The first edition was held on Thursday, 6th July 2023 at the auditorium of the National Engineering Center, Abuja. The topic was Rising Emigration of Professionals and Impact on Nigeria's Development, a case study of engineers. The guest lecturer was Professor Joy Ngozi Ezeilo, OON, SAN, former Dean, Faculty of Law, University of Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, according to Oliver Wendell Holmes, not to participate in the major events of one's time is not to have lived. Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo Nwamulunama did not only participate in the significant events of his time, but also charted and shaped the course of many events of his time. Nwamulunama was a definition of virtue, an exceptional individual, infectiously witty, and at the same time profoundly caring. He was a force of nature and a voice of the voiceless at any gathering. He was the man God uniquely gave us. Everything about him hung together to create a persona that was impossible to ignore. His message was simple: peace, love, and unity. He was an embodiment of truth, a cause he stood for, lived for, and died for without compromise. Engineer Mbanefo shared the Aristotelian view that if a man is interested in himself only, he is very small. If he is interested in his family, he is large. If he is interested in his community, he is larger. He was concerned not with who came from where, but who was in need. His doors were opened to all, irrespective of color, tribe, and religion. He was a formidable leader who firmly stamped his identity on the history of the engineering profession. His greatness as a leader was derived from his humility and ingrained belief in and respect for collective leadership. He knew and taught us that wisdom comes from sharing insights, listening to, and learning from each other. In the words of Woodrow Wilson, the 28th President of the United States, to conquer with arms is to make only a temporary conquest. To conquer the world by earning its esteem is to make permanent conquest. Nwamulunama made a permanent conquest and left a footprint that would not erase easily in the annals of history. The hero of our time is gone. He left at a time when great men were rare. The elements of his personalities and his character contrived to achieve that, what shall we say of this great engineering general who died in active service? Indeed, we fumble to find words to express our feelings adequately for one who meant so much to so many. He was a distinguished and eloquent ambassador of the profession. Today, our members are on their feet, joined together in pain, dignified in sadness, and united in respect as they pay tribute to their dear father and elder statesman, who was not defeated but responded to the divine mandate that man must return to his maker one day. We take consolation in his life and character, and we pray that his light will continue to shine on. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point, may I request that we observe a minute silence in honor of our patriarch, Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo. May the soul of Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo Nwamonama continue to rest in peace. Amen. Please, can we take our seats? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the topic of this year's lecture, the engineer in the Nigerian society, is particularly significant in understanding the role and impact of engineers in our nation's development. Engineers are the backbone of infrastructural and technological advancement, and their contributions are pivotal to the socio-economic growth of our country. The engineering profession in Nigeria has historically been at the forefront of driving progress, solving complex problems, and fostering innovations. Our guest lecturer, Dr. Obiageli Ezekwesili, is a distinguished economic policy expert and a senior economic advisor on Africa Economic Development Policy Initiative. She's one of the co-founders and pioneer director of Transparency International, the Berlin-based global anti-corruption organization. Currently, she is the founder CEO of Human Capital Africa, HCA, working in the education sector across Africa. Dr. Ezekwesili has also served as Vice President of the World Bank for Africa region and has held ministerial positions in Nigeria, including Minister of Minerals, the Minister of Education. She brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to this lecture, and it is our honor to have her with us today. No. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on the 21st day of May 2024, we held the second edition of the Talent Hunt competition for secondary schools in the FCT. 17 secondary schools participated, and today we will be presenting prizes to the winners. We are partnering with the National Board for Technology Incubation, the National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, the Nigerian Building and Rural Research Institute, the Raw Material Research and Development Council, the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure to ensure that all original inventions from this program are further developed and patented. This program aligns with our dedication to improving and inspiring young people through the power of STEM. We chose today to present the prizes in honor of Engineer Mbanefo's commitment to mentorship and his love for young people. Congratulations to the winners and all participants. Finally, I want to especially appreciate the Mbanefo family for their cooperation and support towards this program. May God continue to console your family. I also thank the chairman of this event and president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Margaret Aino Oguntala, FNSC, the guest of honor and president of Koren, Engineer Professor Sadiq Zubairu Abubakar, who is on his way, for accepting these roles. My gratitude extends to our members, all individuals and organizations that supported this program. God will bless you immensely. Special thanks to the members of the executive committee, my colleagues, my allies, and the members of also the planning committee for their commitment to the success of this program. As we continue to honor Engineer Charles Mbanefo posthumously, I call on all our members to continue upholding the virtues of Engineer Nwamonama, Engineer Charles Aniwata Mbanefo. May the legacies of Engineer Charles Mbanefo continue to live on. Long live the era of the Asata boy. Long live the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abuja branch. Long live the Nigerian Society of Engineers. In God we trust. To God be the glory. Before I say amen, you know, today I decided to wear a different brand of clothes. I wanted to wear something different, but one of the things that Engineer Mbanefo was so passionate about was about his old boy, the College of the Immaculate Conception, CIC, Enugu, where the school that he cherished so much throughout his lifetime. The CIC Enugu held their old boy meeting in his house, and he hosted them throughout his, and he participated. One of the conventions they held in Abuja, I saw the photo. He was the oldest man in that convention, apart from Chief Dr. Obonnionu, also close to, at over 80, he was still active in CIC. And each time I come to his office, I will tell him, Sempe, he said, go and sit down. You didn't go to CIC. It was the dream of every young man in Enugu to go to CIC, either CIC or Nike Boys. But some of us who didn't know book well, let me put it that way. Unfortunately for us, we didn't pass the entrance to go to CIC. But my younger brother, Lefty, was lucky to go to CIC. So we cherish CIC so much, and I was happy when I went to deliver the cards to the house, and I saw the CIC old boys having their meeting in his house. Up till now, they have maintained that tradition. Even when he has gone, they still meet in his house. So I looked at all my suits. I said, which one is closer to CIC color? I said, maybe the tie gives a closer, I know when they come out, we see the color today. So I say I will wear blue today, so that even though I didn't pass the entrance to join CIC, at least their president told me that I have been inducted as an associate member of CIC. So today I have joined the CIC family in honoring Engineer Mbanefo. If I say Sempe, I know they will say Fidelis. Thank you very much. My name is Engineer Ben Osioko. God bless you.
Please, a round of applause for the Asata boy once more. My Oga, you did not pass common entrance, CIC. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please, all CIC old boys here, can you wave your hands? Wave your hands. We recognize you. Thank you for coming. Please permit me to take a few recognition. We have here in our midst Engineer Bello Tuna, retired director FCDA. Please, a round of applause for him. You're welcome, sir. We have also Engineer Daniel Akogu, FNSC, MD CEO, Danbest Engineering. Also here in our midst, we have Engineer Anagoye Joseph, representing the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation, and Digital Economy, Engineer Farouk Yusuf Yabo, FNSC. Please, a round of applause for him. We also have here a past chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Okay. Abuja branch engineer Garba Ali Yakubu, FNSC. Thank you very much. In recognition of her contributions to engineering and her dedication to excellence, it's an honor to welcome a woman notably known for her agenda, rebetting the NSC for the growth, empowerment, and advancement of engineering in Nigeria. With the 5 NSC strategic agenda of membership development, intergovernmental industry academia collaboration, international relation, community impact, and NSC re-imaging. She is the 34th president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, making a historic milestone as the first female president in the Society's 65-year history. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to an invitation to the podium for her address, Engineer Margaret Aina Oguntala, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers.
Please be seated. Thank you. Today is one of the days when I'm overcome by emotion and wishes that did not come true. Today is one of the days that I wish that Engineer Charles Anueta Mbanefo was here. Today is one of the days and I remember that I have to work very hard to maintain the high standards that have been set by my predecessors, particularly the likes of Engineer Charles Mbanefo. And so it gives me great honor to be here today, to stand before you and address you as the 34th president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers at the memorial lecture of the 21st president of the society. 13 people down the line, and we give God the glory. The Deputy President, Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Ali Masuya Rabiu, FNSC, MFR. The guest speaker of today, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, CFR, former Vice President of the World Bank, Africa region. National EXCO members here present. Former National EXCO members here present. The chairman, the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abuja branch, Engineer Ben Osi Oko, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers. The matriarch of the Mbanefo family, the very delectable, beautiful, and upright woman, Engineeress, as I would like to call her today, Engineeress Irene Mbanefo. You're welcome, Mom. Past President of the NSC Spouses Forum, Dickiness Oluyemisi Mokolu. You're very welcome, Ma. National Chairman of Divisions of the Nigerian Society of Engineers here present. Chairman of Branches of the Nigerian Society of Engineers here present. Distinguished Fellows of the Nigerian Society of Engineers here present. Corporate members of the NSC here present. Graduate members, student members, very distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Council and members of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, I wholeheartedly welcome you all to this auspicious occasion of the second Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo Memorial Lecture. Engineer Mbanefo was visionary. His work exemplified the highest standards of our profession, demonstrating that engineering is not merely a vocation, but a calling to serve humanity. As we gather to honor him and his memory today, may we all be reminded of our collective responsibility to uphold these standards and to continue his mission of using engineering to improve the lives of our citizens and mankind in general. Let me crave your indulgence to specially recognize our Amazon, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, SFR. I had the pleasure of seeing you for the first time in flesh and blood today. And I thank you, Madam, for honoring us with your presence as our guest speaker. We eagerly await your perspective on the theme of this lecture, which is the engineer in the Nigerian society. Great nations have emerged as a result of their ability to explore engineering and technology for the benefit of their people, and their ability to deploy natural resources and infrastructural facilities to improve lives and conditions of living. In the last 6.5 decades, we have done well, the NSC I mean, by bringing this reality to the knowledge of our political leadership to give us the opportunity to make impact. We have also committed ourselves to advocacies on matters that are titled towards delivering the country out of troubled economic times. The core of our advocacies has over the years targeted the promotion of economic diversification by government. This, we believe, is one crucial avenue by which Nigeria can enhance industrialization and agricultural activities that would create jobs and improve the living conditions of its citizens. It is the candid opinion of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the umbrella organization of all Nigerian engineers, that government needs to promote the local content policy in all its ramifications. It has been quite challenging in our efforts to educate our government and stakeholders to understand the variety of innovations required in order to advance our economy and create a prosperous society. We have seen successive governments execute faulty policies, either in the appointment of people without the required knowledge of engineering to man engineering-based agencies, and even the implementation of some policies that tend to inhibit growth of our economy. We have, on several occasions, made our views known at different fora, with officials of different organs and tiers of government, including our traditional institutions. Today, again, I wish to use this opportunity to remind our government that the achievements of our development can only be attained and sustained by the involvement of Nigerian professionals, particularly Nigerian engineers. My dear distinguished guests and colleagues, I acknowledge all of you for the delivery on various projects covering roads, power, aviation, oil and gas, telecommunication, marine, and many others over the years. I can see chairmen of some of our institutions here present. I wish to commend all of you for the exemplary performance, and I urge you to keep the flag flying. Looking ahead, for us to make more impact, we necessarily must strengthen our capacity. We must position ourselves at the cutting edge of advancements, driving the nation towards a future of sustainable development and technological prowess. All hands, therefore, need to be on deck to inspire the next generation of engineers. By promoting science, technology, education, arts, and mathematics STEAM, and providing mentorship, we can cultivate a new cadre of engineers who will carry forward the legacy of excellence and innovation. Let us remember that the advancement of our country lies in the strength of we, the engineers. As we honor the memory of Engineer Mbanefo, let us recommit ourselves to the ideals of integrity, excellence, and service. Together, we can continue to build a brighter and more prosperous Nigeria. My dear colleagues, let me use this opportunity to remind you of the 2024 International Engineering Conference, which will hold here in Abuja between the 18th and 22nd of November 2024. The theme of this year's conference is Sustainable Engineering Solutions to Food Security and Climate Change. I use this opportunity to invite all members of NSC and other development stakeholders to take advantage of the early bird window to register for the conference. I also encourage you to check out the NSC website, which is the nsc.org.ng, for more details. The conference, which is expected to have over 6,000 participants in attendance, is an avenue and a platform, a very veritable platform for networking, knowledge sharing, career development, and a lot of other things. And of course, the spouses program. And on this note, I welcome you again to this program, and I urge you all to listen carefully to the lecture, because I am very sure that the guest speaker will do more than do justice to the theme of today's lecture. Thank you all for listening, and God bless you. God bless the Nigerian Society of Engineers.
Can we give her a more befitting round of applause? Thank you very much. Thank you. Please be seated. Omoako Anthony said, and I quote, "A life of service is a life well and greatly lived." And the Bible also says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 10 and verse 7a, it says, "The memory of the righteous is blessed." And that's why we're here today, to honor the memory of our beloved father. On that note, Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I humbly request that we all rise for the first hymn that is on page 64 of our program of events, "When Peace Like a River." When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, for my Lord, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trials should come, let this blessed assurance control has regarded my helpless estate and has shed his own blood for my soul. soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. My sin, all the bliss of these glorious thoughts. My sin, not in part, but the whole. Nailed to the cross, and I bear it no more. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, oh my soul. It is well with my soul. Oh, it is well, it is well with my soul. Oh Lord, has the day when my faith shall be sight. The clouds be rolled back as a scroll. Trump shall resound, and the Lord shall descend. Even so, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. Thank you. You may kindly be seated.
Whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. Ladies and gentlemen, may I invite you to now focus on the screen as we ask for the display of a video documentary of the life and times of Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo, FNSC. Thank you, please.
There are angels all around. They are wherever you find me. So be still, don't make.
It was Abraham Lincoln that said to his fellow Americans in 1862, and I quote, "Fellow citizens, we cannot escape history. We will be remembered in spite of ourselves. No personal significance or insignificance can spare one or another of us. The fiery trial through which we pass will light us down, in honor or dishonor, to the latest generation." End of quote. Such is what history will remember Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo, FNSE, a man who came, saw, and conquered. Be it in his immediate life or in the engineering sphere, no doubt, Engineer Mbanefo started off with the purpose to serve and be of immense help to humanity, a gesture that has written his name in the sands of time and will continue to resonate even after he is long gone. This is simply an incontrovertible fact, as his works give a historical account of his life and his personality. He was a distinguished and eloquent leader with a great baritone voice. He was a man of great moral disposition, which helped to set the standard for excellence and discipline among his followers in his entire varied career. His name will continue to be a household name among many who have worked with him or encountered him during his illustrious career. His uprightness, character and quality is known to all and sundry. Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo, FNSE, was born in Onitsha on April 16, 1941, to the family of Chief Isaac Anyeboka Mbanefo and Mrs. Ezelagbo Mbanefo. Charles Mbanefo hails from Odojele village of Onitsha in Onitsha North local government area of Anambra State. He had his primary education at St. Joseph Primary School, Onitsha, and attended the prestigious College of the Immaculate Conception, CIC Enugu, for his secondary education. At CIC Enugu, he won many sporting laurels in field and track events and was also the school captain. In 1961, young Charles Mbanefo left for the United Kingdom, where he completed his A-levels at the Wood Newton Private School in Banbury Cross, UK. He proceeded to Glamorgan Poly in South Wales, United Kingdom, where he graduated with H&D in Civil Engineering. Thereafter, he gained admission into the prestigious University of Ottawa in Ontario, Canada, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in Civil Engineering and subsequently a master's degree in Foundation Engineering. Engineer Mbanefo began his distinguished and distinctive engineering career as a pupil engineer with the Glamorgan Country Council, South Wales, United Kingdom. His rich experience in construction was garnered at Michelle Construction, UK, and Calavino Incorporated Construction, Ontario, Canada, while his ingenuity in design was acquired at Thomas White Consulting, UK, J.R. Richard Consulting, Ontario, Canada, and Tro, Ontario, Canada. He was also very conspicuous in the academic arena and was a lecturer in the Department of Civil Engineering, Algonquin Poly, Ottawa, Canada. In 1979, Engineer Charles Mbanefo met the then Emir of Zazzau, His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Shehu Idris, CFR, who was on an official visit to Canada. The Emir persuaded him to return to Nigeria and contribute towards the development of the new Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Almost at the same time, he met Adamu Muhammad Bulkajoa, a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from Bauchi North Senatorial District, who also appealed to him to return home and contribute his quota in the nation building. Because of his patriotism and love for his motherland, he answered the clarion call and returned to Nigeria in 1982. Upon his return, Engineer Mbanefo joined the services of the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA, as a principal engineer in 1982 and served the nation meritoriously till his retirement as a deputy director in 2001. During his working career with the Federal Capital Development Authority, Abuja, Engineer Mbanefo was in charge of design. He did the vetting and approval of structural drawings and supervised the construction of some major districts and monumental edifices in the Federal Capital Territory. Some of the projects in the FCT that attest to his legendary engineering prowess include the Aso Villa, the National Assembly Design Stage, the Supreme Court, the Federal Secretariat, the National Stadium, the International Conference Center, the National Mosque, and the Transcorp Hilton. Engineer Mbanefo also worked on district areas of Abuja such as Maitama, Garkitu, Jabi District Design Stage, delivering engineering masterpieces which has continued to create an awe experience for residents and visitors in the capital city. For example, the original design of Maitama District had 5 bridges, but when Engineer Mbanefo took charge as the chief resident engineer for the project, he, alongside his team, displayed a mastery and prolific engineering finesse by removing 4 of the bridges, replacing them with culverts and underground drainage. They also introduced a dam along the Shehu Shagari Way, which people ply daily without noticing. Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo was also involved in the establishment of the Development Control Unit of FCDA, and also served in many FCTA and national committees, including the Conservation of Environment Regulatory Commission, that took him around the country, and finally birthed the Federal Environmental Protection Agency, FEPA, and later metamorphosed into the present Federal Ministry of Environment. Engineer Mbanefo was a registered professional engineer of Ontario, Canada, a current registered engineer, a member of the Canadian Geotechnical Society, and a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Engineer Mbanefo was instrumental in the establishment of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abuja branch in 1984, and became the founding chairman of the branch, the primus inter pares. His service to the Nigerian Society of Engineers at the national level began in 1988, when he was elected an ex-co member. In 1993, he was elected as one of the 3 vice presidents of the NSE. He was re-elected as vice president in 1994 and 1995, and in 1996, he was also elected unopposed as the deputy president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo, FNSE, became the 21st president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers in 1998, thereby maintaining his family's distinguished professional tradition, just like his brothers, Architect Frank Nwabora Mbanefo, FNIA, past president, Nigerian Institute of Architects, NIA, and Architects Registration Council of Nigeria, ARCON, and Ambassador Chief Arthur Christopher Izegbunam Mbanefo, CON, MFR, FCA, Diodu III of Onitsha, past president, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN. As NSE president, Engineer Mbanefo took the practice of engineering to the grassroots and visited all NSE branches. Engineer Mbanefo, in his lifetime, attended many engineering workshops, seminars and conferences, and made many presentations in local and international arenas. Engineer Mbanefo was a very active member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and was a member of the council for 34 consecutive years until his passing at the ripe age of 81. Despite his active professional life, Engineer Mbanefo made time for his religious and philanthropic activities and was involved in establishing and building the Catholic Church in the FCT. From Garki to Wuse, Life Camp, Karashi to Buari, Kuje to Gwagwalada, Kwali to Abaji, and others. He was also actively involved in cultural activities and held the traditional title of Wamulunama Onitsha. He has also received numerous honors from many professional bodies, institutions, churches, communities and associations, including the NSE Presidential Merit Award and the NSE Abuja Branch Life Membership Honors Award. In 2011, the Nigerian Society of Engineers Abuja Branch named the Abuja Engineer Distinguished Lecturer as Engineer Charles Mbanefo Distinguished Lecturer in his honor for his great role in reshaping the course of engineering practice in Nigeria. Mentoring young engineers was his passion. His mission was to advance great causes, and he never relented. Whenever there was any form of injustice, he sought to right it. Wherever there was cruelty, he fought a war against it. He was always the unifier, never a divider. Where others would speak a hasty word or acted in anger, he was the patient one, seeking to heal and bring together. He fought a noble cause and lived his life in pursuit of a better life for all. He never sought individual glory, never demanded recognition, never got intoxicated by the trappings of power, and most importantly, never forgot that he was a mere servant of the people. He had a physical and moral precision of mind, which enabled him, all through his varied career, to rise far above the ordinary levels of his generation. This alone stood him tall in the verdict of history. As Bob Marley succinctly put it, the greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and his ability to affect those around him positively. For this reason, Engineer Mbanefo has been described as a paragon of virtue and the rare jewel of both the current and future generations of engineers. Engineer Charles Mbanefo was a family man. The atmosphere in his home is the sweet fruit of his life of struggle and sacrifice. His married life portrays and exemplifies the peace he exudes in his own life. He maintained a unity of purpose with the wife of his youth, Irene Chinwe Ifeyinwa Mbanefo. Charles and Irene as a couple, a story of love, a unity of such deep friendship and mutual respect. A personal and unique partnership that lasted more than 4 decades. Their marriage was blessed with 3 children, Elizabeth, Yvonne, Charles Jr., and grandchildren. Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo FNSE Nwambulunama was an unusual personality of multiple and variegated credentials, an extraordinary, quintessential star in the intellectual firmament, a charismatic leader, an epitome of a godly servant, an embodiment of an academic genius, an encyclopedia of maturity, a repository of wisdom, a monument of excellence, and in the definitive nature of this very moment, we can say, with every sense of dignity and responsibility, that Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo came, saw, and conquered. Engineer Mbanefo enjoyed the game of Sudoku and actively played the game of pool 2 to 3 times a week with his friends and family. His monumental legacies would forever remain evergreen in our memories.
You are attending my eulogy. Unfortunately, I cannot attend your own. You know why? When it's time to attend your own, I won't be there. You can never query nature.
The greatest tribute we can pay to this monument of virtue is to continue in his ways by building people and structures that would serve the purpose of our time and beyond. Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo.
We are wherever you find me.
Our father was indeed a beacon of light, a source of strength, and a guiding force in the engineering profession. Moments like this are moments of sober reflection. What will you be remembered for when you leave this earth? Let's give our father a round of applause once again. Very quickly, I would like to welcome in our midst Senator High Chief Dr. Ben Ndiobi Ojiliugbo, CON. Please welcome our father here with us today. Thank you. I'd like to also recognize Honorable Mrs. Sally Mbanefo, former DG Tourism. Please give her a round of applause. Moving on very quickly, we'll be taking the lecture for today on the theme for today's event, which is the engineer in the Nigerian society. That is going to last for 30 minutes. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding applause as I welcome up to the floor, please join me in welcoming Dr. Obiageli Obi Catherine Ezekwesili, CFR, as I read through her citation. Thank you. Obiageli Obi Catherine Ezekwesili, an economic policy expert, is Senior Economic Advisor of the Africa Economic Development Policy Initiative and one of the co-founders and pioneer directors of Transparency International TI, the Berlin-based global anti-corruption organization. Ezekwesili is currently also the founder and chief executive officer of Human Capital Africa, HCA, working in the education sector across Africa, and board chair Women Political Leaders, WPL. Ezekwesili is the founder and chairperson of the board of SPPG, School of Politics, Policy and Governance in Abuja, Nigeria. She was a candidate for office of the President of Nigeria in 2019 election and became the founder and chairperson of the Fix Politics Initiative, a research-based, citizen-led initiative. Fix Politics envisions a country where politics is inclusive, the needs of citizens are prioritized, and democratic principles are respected, such that good governance is the norm. Ezekwesili was a vice president of World Bank Africa region in Washington, D.C. between 2007 and 2012. She served in the government of Nigeria between 2000 and 2007. She was the Minister of Minerals and later of Education. She was a presidential aide and headed the Budget Monitoring and Price Intelligence Unit, which later became the Bureau for Public Procurement, BPP. She was concurrently the pioneer chairperson of the Nigerian Extractive Industry and Transparency Initiative, NATI, in which capacity she successfully designed and implemented the global principles for Nigeria. University of Essex Business School awarded her an honorary doctorate degree in business in recognition of her role in promoting economic and social justice in African countries. Ezekwesili was recognized as one of Time 100 most influential people and by New York Times as one of the 25 women of impact in 2015. If we want to applaud her, we can do it much better. Albert Einstein Foundations named her one of 100 visionaries featured in the 3D book Genius, 100 Visions of the Future. Ezekwesili was a Richard von Fellow at the Robert Bosch Academy in Berlin, Germany between 2019 and 2020. She has received numerous awards on boards of numerous local and international organizations, such as the Board of Trustees, the International Bureau of Fiscal Documentation. Okay. She is a globally renowned speaker and contributor to numerous studies and publications on economic policy, transparency, accountability, and governance, human capital development, and Africa economic prospects. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding applause, please join me in welcoming Dr. Obi Catherine Ezekwesili, CFR.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, what a great delight to be able to join the engineers yet again. This man called Engineer Ben Osioko. If you left him, I will be an engineer by fire, by force, because there's hardly anything that the engineers do in Abuja that this gentleman will not try to just force me into it. And so I have had to run so many times, but I couldn't run this time. I just couldn't run. How could I possibly run this time when we have the opportunity to gather together to demonstrate exactly what one of our lady compare had said about the legacy of the just being the legacy of the just, the legacy of the righteous will always be beautiful. I remember Engineer Mbanefo with such kindness. I remember him as a man who was as quiet as he had this wry humor. Am I describing your husband? He had this wry humor, and a man of such deep intellect, with such quiet strength. You know, there was just something that was affable about Engineer Mbanefo. He had left the service by 2021. It was only in 2000 that I had returned to the country. And I acknowledge my dear big brother over there, Senator Ben. Please acknowledge him. Senator Ben Obi, you know, we're both working in the presidency at that time. In those, by the time I returned, you folks had been in government from 1999, and I came back home to join. And you know, he hardly had much time to intersect with me in formal position as a deputy director at the FCDA at that time, but he did intersect with me because he knew what I had come home to design, known as what? The due process. And whereas many were angered by the due process, Engineer Mbanefo was delighted about the due process. Please help me to clap for my friend, I beg. Some of you may still be angry even about what the due process represented. Because for Engineer Mbanefo, the due process was basically a mechanism to take the country to global best standards in the way of use of very constrained resources. He was an engineer's delight. He appreciated it. And from that moment, I appreciated your husband, my dear sister. Appreciated him deeply. Even after he left the service, Engineer Mbanefo continued to be a source of inspiration and, you know, encouragement. He would say something like, "Nne, odurofele." You know, in Igbo land, Nne means daughter or mother, or, you know, it's a pet way of calling a woman. It's not easy, but keep pushing. That was always him. So how could I not come? I had to come. I had to come. Ladies and gentlemen, for some reason, you engineers and Madam President, I am so excited that finally the engineers remember gender inclusion. Hey, wonders shall never end. president of the society. It's just the beginning now. I was. I know that following this door that has opened, Abuja branch, woman. Lagos branch, woman. Port Harcourt branch, woman. Enugu, woman. We have to do it for the next 65 years. And and then we will have a meeting to decide. You know, but this is my fun way of actually saying I am very delighted that you now have a woman as the president of the society, a prestigious and honorable profession in which women have shown that they are equally as capable as their male counterparts to uphold the dignity of the profession. So I want you to please acknowledge the president on my behalf. For some reason, every time you ask me whether at the national level of your gathering or at the Abuja level of your gathering to speak, I don't know why you keep asking me to talk about the role of the engineer in society. I remember one of the ones that I came and spoke to you. By the time I got up there, you people were just like, oh my God. Ooh. It was, you know, because I really gave it to you people. I gave it to you people because your profession is a profession that I am so delighted by, and yet a profession that, like many Nigerians, I look around me every day, and when the question as to what happened to Nigerian resources, how is it that oil money in Nigeria did not translate into the building up of visible infrastructure that enables development? Who do you think comes to my mind? The engineers. So I was sitting my own, and you people said I should come again. So we will, you know that anybody that invites Obi as a question, you know they have calculated that they can take it. That's why they said she should come. So I have come. And we're here, we're here to talk about the engineer in the Nigerian society. And you know, starting off quite well, I first acknowledge that indeed the idea of the society to rename its annual lecture after Charles Mbanefo into is one that shows a professional, professional intellect, because any lecture must be named on the basis of the depth of intellect of the individual for whom it is created. I know that Engineer Mbanefo really merits to be honored through this annual lecture. So I thank you for recognizing your SY colleague as a trailblazer whose contribution to engineering and society quite left an indelible mark. I was going to recite the many strides of Engineer Mbanefo in the building out of the Federal Capital Territory, but already we have watched the video, and it did great justice to the person as well as the professional that was Engineer Aniweta Mbanefo, FNSA, the 21st president of the Nigerian Society of engineers. He represented expertise and dedication embodied in a human being. From pioneering construction techniques to leading major projects, his work across the city exemplified the crucial role that engineers play in national development. He was a paragon of engineering excellence and an embodiment of leadership. And if you see the number of years he spent on the council of your professional body, it was, he was a testament to the fact that this was an intergenerational man. One of the things that stood Professor, I keep calling him, he should actually be a professor, because his level of knowledge was, yes, I do mean it. He was a brilliant man. There is a tendency for engineers as scientists to sometimes be very narrow. They just build their little hole and they pigeonhole themselves in it. Not Engineer Mbanefo. He was a man of, spectrum of knowledge. He had this eclecticism about his knowledge that really endeared him to many. And so his visionary work is what we celebrate at this second annual memorial lecture for him. Now, what is this topic asking us to do today? Well, one of the things I know is that it's asking us to have a reflection on a profession that is considered the foundation for the building process. Building not just literally, but metaphorically. The building of society is anchored on the back of the scientific discovery, of the technologies, of the capabilities of design, of frameworks that enable society to gain strength and resilience. That's really what this reflection on the engineer in the Nigerian society forces us to do on a day like this. Because those of you that are seated here surely know the role of the engineer. And so if I wasted my time trying to tell you that it is to construct by critical infrastructure to design models of solutions across a spectrum of sectors, if I said that it is about the adoption of cutting-edge technologies and that it is about tackling environmental and resource challenges or building models that create innovation path, I wouldn't be telling you something you don't already know. But one thing that I want to state clearly is that the reflection of the engineer in the Nigerian society enables us to explore why we have not optimized the possibilities that lay in the knowledge, in the gamut of knowledge that this field of engineering offers us as a country. The engineer in our society represents the definition of building. Unfortunately, for our country, the word building has taken a backseat to the word destroying. We have a society that, rather than build on its possibilities, has acted in the reverse to deconstruct its potentials. And so the engineering society finds itself at the center of what is an oxymoron of saying you are deconstructing while building. How do you deconstruct while building? Ladies and gentlemen, if there is any way to express what I have just said about oxymoron, it is actually exemplified by what we see in the recurring problems of building collapses in our society. for a society that requires infrastructure to always be at the sites of collapse of infrastructure, immediately asks the question, where are the engineers? Engineers are supposed to be vigilant protectors of the concept of building. Absolutely nothing about the process of construction is possible without the engineer. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the key things that I have, as a matter of fact, been able to do is to look at the engineers. I looked at the engineers' creed, a global sense of what the engineer represents in society. And here I will tell you that a simple word is integrator. The integrator. The integrator by virtue of the fact that integral is a concept that is at the heart of the formation of the engineering design. And the word integral is the basis of the word integrity. And so your profession is the profession at the heart of the concept of integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, in looking at the engineer in the Nigerian society, I said, I must make sure that the speech we do today does not in any way enable the usual attitude of judging ourselves against ourselves. In other words, looking at the standard that we thought we have and lamenting that that standard does no longer exist. Because I puncture the idea that we even had standard. That whatever standard we pretended to have was adequate. I am the child of a father who, when I came home with 99%, asked me where 1% went to. And that I must go find it where I left it. And so I am not one for celebrating mediocrity as a result of that. And so, whereas we even had what amounted to a reasonable level of standard, but if that is what our reflection tells us we should go to, then we have not done ourselves justice. And so the next set of my thoughts as I think along with you at this lecture is that the engineering profession is one of the most global professions. It is a profession that crosses boundaries. Because it crosses boundaries, the standards are global. And the standards that are global require that there is adherence to rigorous standards. There are innovative methodologies that when they become the basis of design, if you are behind it, you are doing yourself grave injustice. There is the whole concept of the integration of advanced technologies in countries that are well established in engineering. These practices would include adherence to international standards. Engineering practices are practiced according to the International Organization for Standards, according to the American Society for Testing and Materials, for example. And so you cannot simply, in engineering, say, it's Nigeria. You can't. You're not given the right to say that. Especially in a world where globalism has meant that people of other societies will trust that their counterpart engineers in any country that they visit are similarly operating at the standard that is commonly agreed. And ladies and gentlemen, integration of advanced technologies is another one. Many in the engineering sector worldwide have embraced technologies like AI, machine learning, generative design. Companies like Boeing is going through its really rough time because it looked away from standards. Companies like Siemens are using AI for predictive maintenance, for optimizing supply chains, and for improving product designs. Now, why is it absolutely necessary for the engineering profession in the Nigerian society to recognize that it does not play by the Nigerian standard, nor by the West African standard, nor by the African standard, but by a global standard? It is absolutely important because, ladies and gentlemen, nobody is cutting a slack to the next generation of engineers that our country will produce. Nobody will judge them on any standard that is less than the global standard within which they will operate. Innovative design and manufacturing. You see, generative designs that are enabled by AI has revolutionized product development. So we look at Autodesk generative design tool, for example, helping engineers to create complex geometries that reduce material use and improve performance, demonstrative in aerospace and automotive industries. And we lag behind these levels. And we think we are part of the world. How? How? We're too way behind. And just look at what disruptive technologies do for engineering. Did you hear optimization of resources? Design optimization leading to optimization of resources. Which people in the world should be optimizing resources the most? Those who don't have enough. If you don't have enough resources, and they tell you that the engineering profession has all the capabilities to optimize resources for you, what would you do? You would put them at the center of your design thinking. So it forces you to ask the question, how is it that this noble profession is not at the center of the scientific thinking in development for our country and continent? Why? You know why? You did not differentiate yourselves. You asked me to come and tell the truth, right? Those who should put you at the center of the thinking, of the scientific thinking, in the design of development process, know that you also do what they do. So if we're going to reflect on the role of engineering in the Nigerian society, what this says is, are we now ready to actually take our place at the center of the design of the pathway to an accelerated development possibility for our country? Mr. Koren, I remember you, I was your guest also, right? Yes. And when I came to his own event, I told him, I said, the regulatory body of the engineering sector, of the engineering profession, has to take a lot of the stick. Because you cannot simply train people for competence and capacity. You must train your engineers to have unimpeachable, impeccable, undeniable character. Because if the word integral is at the heart of the engineering process, it therefore behoves that those who are trained in engineering should fundamentally be people of unquestionable integrity. So how is it that the regulation of the profession has not enabled the profession to signal consistently that anybody in this profession who falls foul of the standard of integral that is necessary in the way that solutions are designed, constructions are designed, will get the stick of the profession. What the profession simply did is, hey, is it only us? After all, are there no other professional bodies? Do you see them caning their members publicly? They are not caning them, so why should we be the ones? We're all Nigerians. Let's all do what others are doing. And the building collapsed. And the building collapsed. So this is actually the best thing that our dear father could have done for us, Engineer Mbanefo, to gather us together at a time like this to reflect on a topic like this. And it makes me so glad that I see the young ones in the room who are going to be the winners of the Mbanefo Prize, right? That they can listen and know that the standard that the baby boomers, my generation, those born from 1964 down, 64, I was born 63, 64 down to some, whether it's 40 something or thereabout. And then the Gen X's born after us, that our standard is not enough for you. It cannot work for you. The truth is that AI is fundamentally changing the engineering sector. If I came here and talked to you about engineering on the basis of what you knew of it even 2 years ago, it's already past tense. So the impact of AI on engineering has been found to be critically the matter of how human intelligence and artificial intelligence collaborate in solving problems faster, the fastest that we have ever known, because of the powers of data, big data, the efficiencies that are possible. And so our young ones who have a desire to play as global level engineers cannot afford to look at any of you sitting in the front row as the standard. No. It ended. They have to create their global standard. And that global standard is saying to us that in the era of AI, that the engineer's most important tool is going to be ethics. Can you believe it? Why? Do you know why? Because the thing that the engineer could do, when you get the AI to do it, it does it. So your knowledge of, algebra, it has fallen behind the curve so badly. You will not be hired globally today in the field of engineering just because you know how to, do those your calculations. No, the machine learning does it so well and so quickly. Your real value to your profession now goes back to the very fundamental, which is the concept of integrity. The human being and the human being bringing ethics in order to help establish the regulatory framework on the basis of which AI is helping the designs that lead to optimization is what we're needing. So please, I beg of you, when we talk about this whole concept of the engineer in the Nigerian society, please don't compare your role in 2025 versus your role in 2019. It won't work. You have to compare where we are today as a country with your profession and where the rest of the world is already at with your profession in the context of disruptive technologies. That is absolutely important. And so, current, for example, that examination that the engineers take, that thing that they're afraid about, you make them sweat, you have to take another look at it. What is the content of the curriculum? Ladies and gentlemen, it is very easy to understand the concept I am talking about here today. You know that when it comes to the matter of fintech, Africa is actually ahead of America. You can send a transfer to him right there, isn't it? That doesn't exist in America yet. When we were behind in terms of telecommunication, people were waiting for us to invest in fixed telephone lines. You remember? They cry about NITEL. And it was like, cry no more. Because that model is passé. It's obsolete. And we went telephone mobile, right? The GSM. And then the smartphones. So guess what happened? Africa's first innovation that the rest of the world could look at came through technology, the ICT. And jump started us with a quantum leap. That's exactly what is going to happen through engineering. Your profession cannot be sleeping on this. You have to radically transform this profession. Because knowledge on the basis of which it anchors has rapidly gone to a level, Madam President. And you know what is wonderful? It is wonderful that a woman is president at a time like this. Why? Because when you're going to birth something new, the men don't carry a womb. Yeah. Yes, Madam President. The boldness and the risks that are necessary to be taken to simply say, why are we hugging the existing systems and paradigms? We can disrupt all that we know and are doing right now and just quantum leap. It's not a dream. We did it with technology. Basic access to the smartphone changed the lives. Today, as a development person, in fact, I started saying to people a decade and a half ago, I said, the smartphone is going to be the most important asset of the African, wherever they may be. Whether they do, a motorcycle is not as important as the smartphone for the African. Because the phone is not a means to have conversation. It has powered the greatest efficiencies across a spectrum of sectors for the African. Access to global opportunity for the young generation of our continent has come through the phone, the smartphone. It's time for the Nigerian Society of Engineers to lead the journey toward an embrace of the freshness and the newness that is possible through connecting everything that we represent to AI. Ladies and gentlemen, what are the things that are a problem that we need to deal with? And I'll wind this down in a bit. Regulatory and standardization issues. I've already, tasked Mr. Koren. I know you're past president. Now you're a bigger man. You're the deputy president of the NSC now, right? Wow. But there is value in experience. And so, ensuring that that experience, the body of experience that you gathered in that period, that you're connecting it to these rapid changes and pushing the profession in the direction of really disrupting. I mean, the truth is, with the kind of technologies and knowledge and data that we have, collapsing buildings, how much of research into that can we not do? There are some algorithms that if we plotted what each of the buildings that have collapsed, if we plotted some indicators on them, it would tell us exactly what the industry practice that is leading to that problem is. And we can correct. So there is so much in terms of the tools that are available. Then limited technological integration and issues of infrastructure and resource constraints. To address these gaps, we need to enhance training and certification. And as I said, at the heart of that training process has to be bringing back this fundamental thing of integration, integrity to the profession. Adoption of advanced technologies, encouraging the adoption of AI. I am pretty sure that the younger generation are going beyond Koren because many of them know that they can play at the international league. Do you know that many of our children that you think are doing Yahoo, that what they are doing is that they are part of global teams. They are sitting in your house, but they are part of project teams in far-flung countries of the world, just because they have gathered some global knowledge. Why are you holding back the young? Why? What kind of elders are we? Holding back the young, telling them this is how we did it. Who told you that it is our time? Stop holding them back. They are part of project teams. Some families will say, I think my son is doing Yahoo. I say, have you figured out whether he's in technology? So they ain't plenty money there. You see, because the kind of money that this child is not spending, I say, I know your child can't be in Yahoo. Your child is a tech guru. It's just that you haven't even appreciated that. They are part of global project teams. They are operating at cutting edge of technology. But we keep them outside. Many of you that own firms, stop employing those that should go on retirement. It's time to bring the young engineers because they are connecting to global standards with their mates elsewhere in the world. And then you need to strengthen the regulatory frameworks. You shouldn't have doyens of the profession. Doyen where they do bad thing. How can you be a doyen and you're the one bringing ill repute to the profession? You should use them as examples. Regulatory frameworks exist to be implemented. Madam President, let it be during your time that those who have cost the country carry their own cost. You cost the country, you pay the cost. Why should the public pay the cost for your bad behavior in the engineering profession? Why? Be the one to do it. Let it be they say, women have come again. You see these women? When you give them power, hey, do it. All of us will come out and join you. Sanction in this profession. Get those who are spoilers of the integrity of the profession out of the profession. Perhaps the real ideas revolution that we need will start with the engineers. Why not? You show us a pathway for correcting the ills of society, and everybody says, wow, look at the engineers. They are laying a framework for us. Why not? Madam President, I will be looking in. Ladies and gentlemen, as I begin to bring this to a close, I do know that many of us sometimes think that when the concept of innovation is spoken about, it doesn't concern us. We're Africans, we're still dealing with mundane issues. People would say to you things like, would they say person, no, never eat it, they talk technology. Well, I have given you the reason why we must talk technology. But even more than technology, we must talk about investment in innovation. To invest in innovation requires that we have a mindset of the importance of human capital. So if there is an important role that the engineering sector also is a profession also has in this society, it is to become advocates for the development of human capital. Because the more stock of human capital we have in a diverse Nigeria, the more innovation we have. I mean, it's empirically established. Research proves it, that diverse societies are better than homogeneous societies. So for those of you who think that our being diverse is a weakness, it's actually a strength. You know what is a weakness? We have not been fortunate to find sensible leaders. The day we get sensible public leaders, our diversity will prove itself, according to research, to be one of the best things that God gifted us as a people. So you have to become advocates for human capital development in this society. Let there be nobody speaking about issues without you raising your hand as engineers and saying, investment in human capital is critical. Ensuring that investment in human capital does not also exclude any gender. It is in your scientific field that we have less children that are women being interested. You need that gender diversity and inclusion. And so STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, it's important. And you have to become champions of it. Madam President, in your time, you must be, if there's a voice that's consistently putting out the idea of our investment in STEM, of our necessity to make sure that the girl child is not left behind in STEM, it has to be you. You become the standard bearer for everything that will build our innovation base in this society. Research and development, all of that. Can the engineers stop being transactional people? How can you be people so great and all you're thinking of is the next procurement? Hi! In that video for Professor Mbanefo, it said, the greatness of a man is not measured by the things he acquired. All of you that have traded your greatness for one contract or another contract, Kai, it's so mundane. It's so mundane. It's a lowly vision. It's a lowly vision. I ask of you, stay strategic, stay visionary. That's what the engineers can do for our society. After all, I know that there are people who, if they called me to deliver a speech at anything that has their name attached to it, I will tell them, I am sorry, I will not be available. But I have come because I know that Engineer Mbanefo may not have acquired anything sensible. We know of stories of those who served in this same city, who own half of the city in one form or the other. Accumulation, primitive accumulation. When you look at that family, do they look to you like people whose business was to accumulate? If you know when they came to Abuja, those who came to Abuja after them have all kinds of edifices. What are they? Mere structures. The real structure that your husband, the real structure that your father built is in the fact that those who know that nobility is made of character are gathered here today to celebrate him in his absence. In his absence. That, the Mbanefo family, a family with pedigree. Uncle Atom Mbanefo, he was my boss in Akintola Williams, Deloitte and Touche. That's the brother of Engineer Mbanefo. Uncle Frank Mbanefo, he became the president of the Nigerian Architects Association, or whatever they call, Institute of Architects or something, NIA. That's the same. Siblings, all of them. A family of pedigree. At the end of the day, the legacy of the man of character endures forever.
I know we can do better than that. Please, let's put our hands together. We have just had the feel of Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, CFR, live, direct, in her natural, charismatic nature. A round of applause for her once more. Osita Dima. If it starts today, it will be good. It will always be good. When oil money doesn't translate to infrastructural development, the question goes to the engineer. What happened? Where is it? And she has described Engineer Mbanefo as an intergenerational man with a spectrum of knowledge. The engineer in our society represents the world building. The engineer is an integrator. We should keep that. And our profession is one that is at the heart of integrity. When you want to bet something new, the men don't carry a womb. I'm keeping that one, man. And you know what that means. Please, a round of applause for her. So as engineers, we must act differently and positively in everything that we do. Thank you very much, Ma, for that wonderful lecture. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, won't be taking much of your time. The program is running as we wind down. May I now invite for presentation of awards to the winners of the 2024 NSC Abuja Talent Hunt competition of FCT secondary schools and other awards. Please put your hands together for the chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Abuja branch, our host today, Engineer Ben Osi Oko, FNSC. Engineer Ben Ositadima Oko, FNSC.
Thank you very much, Engineer Ejika Emmanuel. And of course, Faith Oche for the great job you are doing. Quickly, it's my pleasure to invite the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Margaret Aino Guntala, to help us do the presentation. On the 25th of this month, we had 27th of May. Yes. We had, please can we clap for Madam President? We had a talent hunt competition for secondary schools in the FCT. And we'll be presenting the prizes to them. The first position for that competition was won by Government Secondary School Buhari. It's my pleasure to invite Abba Samaila, Kevin Chibozo, and Wachuku Deborah, representing Government Secondary School Buhari, to come and receive their prizes, please. And also, may I invite Mrs. Irene Mbanefo to come and join us, please. Please, can we get the plaques, please? Engineer Ata Edwin, please. Can we get the plaques for the first position, please? First. Three of them. Come. All right. Abba Smiler. Okay, Wachuku Deborah.
Kelvin C. Chibuzo. Abba M. Samaila. And a check of 250,000 naira.
Don't block her, please.
Congratulations, congratulations. And now the winner's trophy for the first position goes to Government Secondary School Buhari. Thank you, thank you. Second position, Government Secondary School Kubwa. Can we have you come out, please? Government Secondary School Kubwa, second position. Please put your hands together for them. Third position, Government Science Secondary School Tungamaje. Please get ready.
Announce the money is for the students, the plaques for the students, the trophy for the school.
The money is for the students, the plaque for the students, the trophy for the school. Please, thank you. Idris Ahmed Rabiu. Congratulations, Idris. Lawal Halia. Lawal Halia. Okay. Oladepo Abdullah. Israel Daniel. And we have Chiamanda Leonard. Okay. And a check of the whooping sum of 150,000 naira. And the wonderful, beautiful silver trophy for the second position, Government Secondary School, Kubwa. Thank you and congratulations. Government Science Secondary School, Tungamaje, third position. Can we have you on the stage? Ajiboye Kehinde Emanuela. Malaki Deborah. Ogbonnaya O Emmanuel. Raphael Chidindu Daniel. Ikechukwu Goodness Ijeoma. Ogbonaya O Emanuela. Emeka Great Emmanuel. And a handsome amount of 100,000 naira only. And this beautiful bronze trophy goes to Government Science Secondary School, Tungamaje.
Thank you. Thank you very much. While Madam President is still on the stage, let's clap for, should I put Engineer Res, Irene Mbanefo? Let me invite our guest lecturer for today, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, for presentation of plaque of appreciation to her. Please, let's put our hands together for her, please. Ifani, plaque. Red ones.
Presentation of plaque to the guest lecturer, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, CFR.
No, this award cannot be presented at the backyard. So I had to come to the microphone to do this. And we all agree that that was a very wonderful lecture and a great charge to the Nigerian engineers. And I was just telling her now that she caught on to the theme of our administration, rebirthing the Nigerian Society of Engineers for the growth, empowerment, and advancement of engineering in Nigeria. So as a mother, she mentioned the word rebirth, yes, and the fact that men really indeed do not have a womb. So it's very apt that we are the ones rebirthing the NSA. So on that note, I'd like to present this award, which is presented in appreciation to Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, CFR, founder and president, Human Capital Africa, and School Politics, Policy, and Governance, and also former vice president, the World Bank, Africa region, as guest lecturer at the second Charles Mbanefo Memorial Lecture, today, the 10th day of July, year 2024. Congratulations, ma.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry, ma. Permit me to do this on behalf of the entire membership of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Abuja. In addition to this, want to appreciate you for honoring us with your presence today. Thank you, ma'am. Madam President, ma'am. At this time, It's our honor to invite the Mbanefo family, all their friends and well-wishers, to come as we present a plaque to the family in honor of Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo.
It gives me great honor, and I consider this a great privilege to carry out this assignment. On behalf of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Abuja branch, I present posthumously this award to Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo, fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, founding chairman, NSC Abuja branch, and 21st president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, as honoree at the second Charles Mbanefo Memorial Lecture, today, the 10th day of July, year 2024. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Our time is fast spent. May I now invite Olisa Uzoewulu Wulus, an economist, is a special friend to the Mbanefo family. Sir, can you please come out and as you give us this goodwill message and tribute. Please a round of applause for him.
Hello. Thank you so much. This tribute, I have to change my mind 5 times when I came here, listening to the life history of my beautiful friend, my wonderful friend, Mwanama. And then I listened to the guest lecturer. I changed my mind again. You see, sometimes when you give a tribute to somebody or to someone, it's better done through experience so that you can understand what we will learn from the person and educate future generations about the life we have learned. I will tell a little story. 20 years ago, I walked up to the house in life camp, and the beautiful wife was staying by, and I requested for something. And Aneche said, after about 5 minutes, "Is it not you now that Odisa is talking to?" And he said, he's checking into the room to know if what I asked for was enough. And he came back, and he gave me my request. And then, for these 15, 20 years after it happened, every time I go to the house, I'll go with something. I will never go empty-handed. And after 15 years, he asked me, "Wulus, why are you doing this?" I said, "I'm thanking God." Not you. Because there's a mistake we make when something happens to you. You just run to the church as if God needs something from you. God doesn't need anything from you. The thanksgiving should be the helper that God used to lift you up. And now, there's one character we've talked about the lecture and every other thing. But there's some missing link. You can have your PhD, you can have your experiences, which we all have. Those who have led us in this country have their PhDs. We are educated abroad in the universities, professors, but still haven't achieved anything. And we should teach this in the schools. Mama Nama have the spirit of giving. The spirit of giving is what drives. And he maintained that spirit even when he was jumped over for somebody else who is more qualified about. We don't tell these stories. We only tell the good part, the one that we want the society to listen to. Several times he was jumped over, he will still maintain that spirit. We should teach this in schools. And the spirit of giving comes with pain, sacrifice. Yeah. So we must embody this spirit of giving. The Nigerian Society of Engineers will function if they have the spirit of giving. And that is what we lack in our society. That is what we lack in our leadership. Our leadership is always taking. It is through the spirit of giving that we will grow. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Can we applaud him once again? For his 1-minute goodwill message, I would like to invite up to the fore Engineer Christopher Chibo, former Transport Secretary, FCT. Yes, sir, please. Can we give him a round of applause as he comes up, please? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone here. The President, Irene, can I have your attention? I'm saluting all of us here today for one thing. We all know Mbanefo, most of you. But I have been associating with Mbanefo right from 1982. You can imagine, we came into this town when there was nothing. And then we struggled We have inhibitions, we have problems here and then. Like the guest speakers said, what happened in this city is because those like Mbanefo who know or who knew what to do were not given the opportunity to do that. Well, it could be as a result of human capital that you developed already, because we are doing what we are doing in that time was, for the first time, Nigeria has never built a modern city. So what we are doing is, for the first time, we are trying to organize society in Abuja. The buildings, how do you get supplies to build the city is none. A lot of problems. Mbanefo was the only person that had the foresight of building and organized communities. One of the communities he did was the ministers' quarters. The ministers' quarters differed from all other communities we have in Abuja. But I am advising Nigerian Society of Engineers to look back at what he has done and what he said should be done. I'm happy that schools are now having the foundation for him. This foundation should please be guarded. And then, we can, from, his legacies, build up, a city comparable to other cities in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please appreciate him a bit better for his goodwill message. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Registrar of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Engineer Professor Adisa Ademola Bello, a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and a fellow of the Academy of Engineering. Please applaud him better. If you do that, he'll come up quicker. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my president, the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers in absentia, the deputy president and my boss, former president of Kuren, past presidents of the Nigerian Society of Engineers here present, my Oga, the former FCT executive secretary, the chairman of NSC Abuja branch, the Osita, where is he? In absentia. More importantly, the wife of my father. Today's celebrant has been a father to me since he was the president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. At that time, I was the vice president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers Bauchi branch. And one lesson he taught me when I went for a council meeting is that when I go for a council meeting, I should not only wear my shirt and tie, it must go with a jacket. I should be complete. I've learned that lesson, and I thank him for it. On behalf of the president of Kuren, who is unavoidably absent, the entire population of the engineering family, the extended families of the engineering technicians, engineering technologists, and engineering craftsmen, I bring you felicitations from Kuren and to thank you for coming here to honor our father. On behalf of Kuren, we want to wish you journey mercies to your respective homes. Thank you so very much.
We'll can do it a bit better. Gradually, we're rounding up. I would like to humbly request that we rise for the second hymn, page 64 of our program of events, Only Remembered. Thank you. You may kindly be seated.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may we now invite for a remark by a member of the Mbanefo's family, the first daughter of Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo, Mrs. Elizabeth Igbona. Please a round of applause for her as she comes to speak on behalf of the family. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming out here today to celebrate my father, Engineer Charles Aniweta Mbanefo. I'm so delighted to be here again with you all once more. I see the spirit of Daddy in this family here today, and I pray that we as a family will continue to uphold the things that meant so much to him. We, the family of Charles Aniweta Mbanefo, deeply thank you for being here, and we pray for your journey mercies back to your abode. Thank you.
Can we please appreciate her better? She did wonderfully. It's not easy to stand before an audience. I'd like to very warmly welcome in our midst and recognize a Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Mrs. Mbanefo Roberts. Please give her a round of applause. Welcome, Ma. Thank you for joining us today. On that note, to give us a vote of thanks, it is my singular honor and privilege to call on the chairman of the second Charles Mbanefo Memorial Lecture Committee, Engineer Paul Imohiosing, MNSC, for his vote of thanks. Please give him a round of applause. If you agree that he has done well, applaud him. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my president, the president, Nigerian Society of Engineers. Good afternoon, the deputy president, past president, senior colleagues, and especially our mommy, the wife of Engineer Charles Mbanefo and family, and every other person present here. Other protocol really observed. I don't know where to start from.
Thank you. Sorry, just wait. Apologies, that's an interruption to take care of presidential order. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I invite the representative of CIC Old Boys to please come and address us a goodwill message and tribute to the family, the branch, and the engineering society. Please, let's put our hands together for them. Adorned in navy blue suits and white, just as the chairman. Okay.
Yeah, come on. You're free to join.
Please, associate members, can you please join them?
Lefty, where are you? Are you not old boy of CIC?
Simple.
It doesn't come for meetings, so you can't go. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please permit us to stand on the existing protocol. I am the chief servant of CIC Old Boys Abuja here. I'm here to read the message. Today, we pause to remember and honor the life of our dear alumni, Chief Charles Mbanefo. Though he may be gone, his memory and legacy live on in our hearts. We cherish the moments we shared, the laughter, and the memories we created together. Nwamunama was an exceptional individual who touched many lives with his kindness, compassion, and dedication. His passing leaves a void, or left a void, in our community, but his spirit will continue to inspire us. We, the Semper family Abuja, unite with his loved ones to remember him and celebrate the impact he had in our lives. March on to glory, old boy. Your memory will never be forgotten. Semper Fidelis.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. May we now have the chairman of the planning committee to continue with his.
Thank you, MC. Well, sorry for the interruption, but it was worth it. Yeah. As I was saying earlier, I don't know where to start from, but I just have to start from somewhere, and I won't take too much of our time. I want to really appreciate each and every one of us for coming to honor the founding father, the founding chairman of NSC Abuja branch, past president Nigeria State of Engineer, Engineer Charles and Mbanefo, on this second Engineer Charles Mbanefo Memorial Lectures organized by Abuja branch. We are so grateful, we are so happy, we are so impressed for this honor. We have to begin to carry more chairs and begin to arrange at the back. I was amazed, We're thinking, we are grateful, we are very grateful, we appreciate you. We only pray that we too will be remembered for the good we have opportunity to do now that we are here. I want to say thank you on behalf of myself, on behalf of the planning committee of this program, on behalf of ESCO, Nigeria State of Engineer Abuja branch, and all the members of NSC Abuja branch. I want to appreciate us all for coming to grace this occasion. I only pray that God Almighty will bless and keep all of us, that this time next year, all of us will be here again to remember our founding father again in good health of mind and body. I pray as each and all of us go back to our different places of work, traveling back to where we came from, God Almighty will take all of us back to our different destinations in the name of Jesus Christ. I thank you. God bless every one of us. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Please, a round of applause for him once more. And please put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you, thank you. If you check your program booklet, you will discover that we are at a time that is in unison with the time of departure and closure. So please put your hands together for myself and Mrs. Faith. The program was to close at 2 p.m. And here we are.
On that note, I would like to humbly request that we all rise for the national anthem and the closing prayer, after which we'll be taking photo ops. So please do not go away. Make sure that you appear in at least one photograph. National anthem, please. Closing prayer, second stanza of the former national anthem. Together we pray. O God of creation, direct our noble cause. Guide our leaders right. Help our youth the truth to know. In love and honesty to grow, and living just and true. Great lofty heights attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Amen. Thank you very much for being here once again, and we truly, truly appreciate you. We're going to have photographs now. Okay, we take the last hymn before we do the photo ops. Thank you very much. Page 64 of the program of events. God be with you till we meet again. We'll take just the first stanza. For good singing. Thank you for finding time to honor our dear father and the Nigerian Society of Engineers Abuja branch with your presence. May God take you all to your various destinations safely. Thank you once again.
Time for photograph.